Once upon a time, deep in a lush jungle, there was a beautiful pond. The pond was a peaceful haven where vibrant flowers bloomed along its banks, frogs croaked happily on lily pads, and birds fluttered around the trees. The pond was a source of life for every creature in the jungle, from the smallest ant to the largest elephant. It provided water for the animals, fish to catch, and a place to relax and cool off on hot days. In the middle of the pond lived a group of young ducklings. Their feathers were soft and yellow, and they loved to waddle around the water, diving in and out of the cool, refreshing liquid. They had been playing in the pond since the day they hatched, and they couldn't imagine life without it. To them, the pond wasn't just a body of water, it was home. But one hot afternoon, everything changed. The sun blazed in the sky, and the animals noticed that the pond's water level was lower than usual. At first, it didn't seem like much, just a slight dip in the water, a few inches lower than the day before. But as the days passed, the water level continued to shrink. The animals began to worry, and the ducklings, who once loved to swim, now found themselves waddling across dry patches of mud. The next day, the pond had nearly dried up completely. The fish, which had once swum happily in the cool waters, flapped helplessly in the remaining puddles. The once lush green plants around the pond wilted in the heat. The ducklings gathered around the dried-up pond, their tiny feet sinking into the hot, cracked earth. "What will we do?" cried one of the ducklings, looking around with wide, worried eyes. The other ducklings gathered close, afraid. The animals who had always relied on the pond for their water and food were now in trouble. The frogs croaked miserably from the remaining lily pads. The beavers sat near their dens, unsure of what to do, and the squirrels paced nervously nearby. "We have to do something," said the smallest duckling, who had always been the most optimistic of them all. She flapped her little wings in frustration. "We can't just let the pond disappear." The eldest duckling, the one who had always been wise beyond her years, spoke up. "I have an idea. We can work together, everyone in the jungle. If we all help, we can build a new pond, bigger and better than the one that's gone. But it will take teamwork." The other animals stared at her, unsure. The idea of building a new pond seemed impossible, but the little duckling was determined. "We'll need everyone," she said. "The elephants can dig, the beavers can help us build, and the frogs can guide the water. If we work together, we can make it happen." The animals agreed, and the first task was to dig a new trench where the pond should be. The elephants, with their mighty trunks, started to dig deep into the earth. They moved large boulders and scooped up dirt, making space for the new water to fill. Meanwhile, the frogs jumped around excitedly, their sticky feet gathering mud and dirt to help line the trench. The beavers worked tirelessly, using their sharp teeth to chew through trees and branches, creating strong walls along the edge of the trench. They worked together to create a dam, one that would hold the water in place once it arrived. The ducks, with their small, nimble wings, helped by gathering leaves and twigs to make the pond's surface more stable. They waddled back and forth, carrying bits of grass and moss to line the edges. As the days passed, the animals worked tirelessly, their determination unwavering. Slowly but surely, the new pond began to take shape. The trench filled with water as the animals poured in buckets of water from nearby streams and rivers. The fish that had been stranded in the dried-up pond were carefully placed into the new water, where they swam happily once again. The ducklings cheered as the new pond filled up completely. The frogs croaked joyfully, the beavers slapped their tails in excitement, and the elephants trumpeted their victory. The animals danced around the pond, happy and proud of their hard work. The jungle had come together to solve the problem, and in the end, they had created something even more beautiful than before. The new pond was bigger, more vibrant, and filled with life once again. The smallest duckling smiled as she looked at the sparkling water. "We did it," she said, her eyes shining with pride. The wise duckling nodded. "We did it together," she said, her voice full of satisfaction. "Remember, when we work as one, there is no problem too big to solve." From that day forward, the animals of the jungle knew that no matter how big the challenge, they could overcome it if they worked together. The pond had disappeared, but the lesson learned from the animals' teamwork would stay with them forever. Moral of story is that teamwork can overcome even the biggest problems.